One of the largest staples of the 1920s was the installment of Prohibition. Many people thought that alcohol was harmful to people and society, and they wanted to stop the consumption and distribution of it. The movement to ban alcohol grew stronger in the early 1900s. People supported the prohibition of alcohol sales for many reasons. Some opposed alcohol consumption for religious reasons. Others thought prohibition would reduce unemployment, domestic violence, and poverty. Prohibition supporters achieved their goal when the 18th Amendment went into effect in January 1920.
Prohibition was put into place for medical, economic, political, and social reasons. By the time people started to realize that alcohol damaged our health and could affect our lives, many Americans had already suffered from sclerosis, which is caused by alcohol and lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. These people suffered badly and eventually died. Because of this, many children fought their lives without their fathers, which led to families' financial problems. Many corporations were in favor of prohibition. This was because many laborers got drunk and they could not perform their job properly. The absence from work each week was so high that companies became less efficient. Companies could not afford to produce the same products in the time that they used to be able to, so industrialists were not satisfied. America's hostility towards other countries was another leading factor that led to prohibition. People insisted that buying beer meant that the money actually flew away to Germany due to the brewers being located in Germany. The solution that people came up with was, instead of helping Germany with their economy, to keep the money here and spend it on necessities in America. Many organizations, such as the Anti-Saloon Organization, won votes in rural areas due to the wide amounts of religious folk in rural areas. Women also played a large role in the prohibition of alcohol. Many husbands were spending their family's savings stupidly on alcohol instead of essential items such as food and education. That problem led to family arguments, which eventually led to divorce. The problem pressurized women the most, therefore they set up the anti-saloon groups. In 1929, Pauline Sabin founded the Women's Legion for True Temperance, an organization that originally supported prohibition. But as time went on, she became distressed at what she saw and warned the public of the hypocrisy of politicians, the counterproductivity of prohibition, the decline in moderate drinking and the increase in binge drinking, the growing power of bootleggers, the widespread political corruption, mob violence, increased public intoxication, and growing disrespect for the law, which eventually led to the repeal of prohibition. Prohibition increased the crime rate during the 1920s. Criminals and gangsters tried to find a way to gain money by selling alcohol for a high price.
One of the biggest ways alcohol was sold was through speakeasies or illegal bars. Speakeasies were bars that were tucked away and out of sight. Many speakeasies had secret liquor closets and trap doors to dispose of the liquor if the cops showed up. One of the biggest disposal methods was through the sewers so that the liquor could never be seen again. Most speakeasies were run by gangsters. One of the most famous gangsters of all time was Al Capone. Al Capone is America's best-known gangster and a single greatest symbol of the collapse of law and order in the United States during the 1920s Prohibition era. Capone had a leading role in the illegal activities that lent Chicago its reputation as a lawless city. Capone controlled speakeasies, bookie joints, gambling houses, brothels, horse and race tracks, nightclubs, distilleries, and breweries. These facilities brought in an income of $100 million a year. Capone was America's most wanted criminal during the Prohibition era. Many cops wanted to arrest him for the sale of illegal alcohol. Every time Capone was arrested, he got off scot-free, until finally he was arrested for failure to pay taxes, which is when he finally went to jail. Capone played a major role in the Prohibition era. Although it wasn't a positive one, it was undeniably a significant one.
Leading prohibitionists in Congress confidently stated that there is as much chance of repealing the 18th Amendment as there is for a hummingbird to fly to the planet Mars with the Washington Monument tied to its tail. Unfortunately, Prohibition not only failed in its promises, but actually created additional serious and social problems throughout society. This led to an increasing disillusionment by millions of Americans.